Hi, my name's Richard. Apparently I have bipolar. I wanted to make this short film for the people around me, to let them into my world, and to let them know what it's like to be me.
Well, I was diagnosed summer 2011, less than a year ago now. Being diagnosed was something which was, I suppose on the day it was helpful because I was really searching for answers as to why I was having these really crazy highs and really unforgiving lows. And when I was told by my doctor that he thought that it was bipolar, everything just seemed to fit into place. It seemed like for the first time in ages somebody actually believed that I was ill and that I was feeling all of these horrid, tragic emotions. Soon after being diagnosed, though, it really started to eat away at me that this was probably going to be something that I was going to suffer with for the whole of my life. And for months, the thought that 1 in 5 of us just don't make it, that we commit suicide, really haunted me. But with time and with support from my friends and family, I've been able to accept the fact that I'm ill. And that I'm not ill all of the time, but that when I am, that I need to get help. And that there is help out there for people with bipolar. For me, my mania in my bipolar has never really been something which I always thought was strange or crazy. In actual fact, when I was hypermanic, when my mood was elevated, I in fact thought that that was the normal me. I can recall spring, summer last year, just before being diagnosed, before having a really bad bout of depression. I can remember feeling high and not wanting to sleep at night time and being focused on this project that I wanted to complete for work, and that was the most important thing in the world, and my mind was racing and it was all I could focus on, and it was almost like a magnet that I was drawn to the computer to work late into the evening, to get up early, go straight to the computer, check my emails, check the project, see how things were going. I'd become obsessed, I'd become too focused with it, and I'd become too excited. When I tend to get manic, it very much is like that every time. I get an idea on my mind that I'm going to be the next internet millionaire or whatever it may be, and I just become so focused that in actual fact it's painful. It's so painful and draining to be that focused, and you just know that depression is just around the corner, and that's really the only way that episode can end. For me, the depression in bipolar is the worst thing. In actual fact, in life, it's the worst thing that I've ever had to endure and experience. And along with the depression comes anxiety of social situations, and you just want to lock yourself away as a recluse and not see anybody. It's real hell, and you know, I mean, I can tell you about it from one experience that happened just the other day. I was sat with my family, my wife and my son. We were having fun, having a meal, having a laugh and a joke, and all of a sudden the depression hits, and there's no rhyme or reason when you have bipolar. There's no somebody upsetting you or horrible thoughts or anything like that. It just hits like a ton of bricks, and there's nothing you can do, and you go from really happy and content to really dark and suicidal within a matter of seconds. And I think the hardest thing is because there is no reason that you can think of as to why it's happened, and people around you tell you to keep your chin up and pull your socks up and get on with life. It's really not like that. It really is a living hell, a painful living hell, and something which I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. As soon as I was diagnosed with bipolar, I started on my treatment plan, which in actual fact largely up until this point has just been medication and pharmaceuticals. I've not really been happy with that, but that's what I've been offered, and that's what up until now has kept me safe from suicide and relatively well. The biggest medication is a mood stabilizer called lithium, which I was really wary of taking because it's in batteries. And I often joke about being powered on the same stuff as the ever-ready bunny. But on a serious note, the lithium can make me tired and lethargic, and it's certainly helped me put on some weight, which has not been welcomed at all. I've also been put on, from time to time, antidepressants when my mood has sunk significantly low. And these can have a dulling effect, almost like a zombifying effect. And I can recall the August riots last year and just watching them on the television and just really not having an opinion at all. And for anybody who knows me, that's just not me. And I suppose you weigh up the pros and the cons because they keep you safe, but they take, while you're on them, they take certain things away from you. I remember it was July last year, 2011, that I really arrived at a point. I was in a real severe depression, deeper than I'd ever been before. It was a really dark place, and minute by minute, hour by hour, I was having thoughts of suicide and of killing myself, and I just didn't want to be here anymore. I found myself looking on the internet for hours and hours, and on my phone, on my laptop, just looking for ways in which I could end my life with as least pain and discomfort and disruption as possible. And that's when I decided that I was going to gas myself, that life just wasn't worth carrying on any longer. I confided in a few people just how bad things were, and luckily one of them, a friend of mine, had the wisdom to get me to reach out and get some help. And that's when I decided to give the local doctors one last opportunity to see whether they could come up with what was wrong with me. And that's when I soon started my medication. Since then, I've had other episodes where I felt suicidal, and I've had images in my mind of hanging myself and just wanting to run away and do some injury, and even episodes of self-harm where I've not meant to kill myself, but I have hurt myself, and I'm not sure exactly why that's occurred, whether it's a side effect of the medication or part of the illness. I don't know. I don't do it now. It was just a one-off. And I don't always feel suicidal, but in the depths of despair that come when I get depressed, I'm just really frightened that one day I won't be strong enough. But the one thing that keeps me strong is something which a friend of mine told to me, and that's that if I was to commit suicide, Bobby, my son, would always be wondering whether it was anything to do with him, and I could never allow that. I could never allow that child to ever think for 1 second that my illness, or if I was to have committed suicide, my death was anything to do with him, because he just brings me joy and happiness. It's just a shame that sometimes the bipolar robs me from enjoying that. Being open and honest about my bipolar has by no means been a negative experience. People have been so kind and supportive. For the first time in a long time, I feel like I have a future.
The other person has cleared. The other person has cleared.